I'm standing in the heart of Nicoya, one of 5 incredibly special places around the world where people live longer and healthier than anywhere else.
Places in the world called blue zones.
The blue zones?
Blue zones.
Blue zones.
But the label blue zone is actually owned by a business. The term blue zone was actually coined a couple decades ago, and it's made its way into Netflix documentaries and holistic retreats and foods and recipe books, and all of this footage I've been showing you. Well, that's not exactly the blue zone either. It's more like the aftermath of one. The founder of this company took a boring scientific paper and turned it into a global brand, a business, and more crucially, a way of life. He seized a great business opportunity, but also kind of exploited it. So I traveled to the real blue zone to meet some real centenarians and show you the side of the story that didn't make it to Netflix. Now, the term blue zone originated from the research of Michel Poulain, first in a paper that they developed in the year 2000, and then they published on this 2004 paper. Scientists had been studying the extreme longevity of people in Sardinia, Italy, for years, but Michel's study first referred to the area as a blue zone, in part because of the color coding that they were actually using to draw stuff on maps. Now, what they observed is that this rather isolated region of Sardinia had an abnormal concentration of healthy people over 100 years old. And by 2004, they were still writing papers about it, mostly to confirm the validity of their observations, but the real obvious burning question was why? Or rather, how can I live longer? I mean, that's the question, isn't it? Is it the food? Is it the wine? Is it the weather or the water? What makes people live to 100? Poulain has dedicated his life to studying this, and he's published hundreds of papers about it through his life. But there was a business side to it, and it wouldn't take long for someone to figure it out. The reason why blue zones are a thing is not him, but this dude, Dan Buettner.
If you ask the average American what the optimal formula of longevity is, they probably couldn't tell you. The fact of the matter is there's a lot of confusion around what really helps us live longer, better.
He saw the concept, fell in love with it, and found the opportunity to monetize it. In 2005, after reading Michel's article, Buettner registered the brand Blue Zones and started, slowly but surely, bringing worldwide attention to it. He published an article in National Geographic in 2005, and by then, 2 additional blue zones had been discovered: Okinawa, Japan, and Loma Linda, California. And then, a year later, he collaborated with Michel Poulain to identify this one, the Nicoya Peninsula on the west side of Costa Rica, facing the Pacific Ocean. The original area of the blue zone covers an area of about 1,500 square miles, around 4,000 square kilometers, with a population of around 200,000 people. And I didn't even have to research that, because this is my home country. Now, the story of these immortality, health, wellness hotspots is just like so easy to relate to, right? Like, sounds like something that people would, I don't know, read some books about and embrace and pay money for. But books are just a start. Add some slightly overpriced coffee, nuts, honey, a tote bag, and canned beans? Now, these beans are, they're a pretty extreme example. They are organic, fair, but made by a Tennessee US company, and the only connection to the blue zone seems to be the flavor inspiration and, of course, the licensing deal. Now, don't get me wrong, if people are willing to pay for this stuff, by all means, you should make a business out of it, but I don't know, I just feel that canned beans are a bit far-fetched for blue zone food. Now, there is a local Blue Zones Nicoya organization that also licenses the brand, and at least they do keep ingredients sourced to the right country, and if it helps the local producers in the process, then even better. Now, the Blue Zones organization is based out of Minnesota, which is not a blue zone. According to LinkedIn, it has around 164 employees, and it's growing mostly in the business development, communications, and marketing departments. I'm a very proud Tico, very proud Costa Rican, and a good percentage of that pride comes from the fact that we have this very special blue zone. And I didn't grow up here, I grew up in the city. I wouldn't catch this blue zone air over the holidays, but this anomaly has spiraled into stuff like 95% of food should come from a plant product, up to 3 ounces of fish daily, you should minimize dairy, and no more than 3 eggs a week. This article by the man himself is just indistinguishable from the website's actual research and science section, and it has a neat call to action to the Blue Zone's kitchen, 100 recipes to live to 100. Now, this is some genius marketing at work, and by far the most impactful initiative, the culmination of this decades-long PR campaign was, of course, the Blue Zones limited series on Netflix, which won 3 Daytime Emmy Awards last year. But there are some plot holes in that story. Now, before I go deeper into these plot holes, I want to share an essential resource if you'd like to start your own multi-million-dollar business, the Hustle's Business Startup Kit. It's a solid kit of 9 documents to help you brainstorm a company name, run a feasibility study, run an elevator pitch, and of course, a marketing plan template. It's absolutely free to download, and you can find it here. Now, like I said, there are some plot holes in that story, because when Sardinia was spotted as a blue zone in Michel Poulin's original paper, it was because it showed this remarkable 16 centenarians per 100,000 people, versus the average of 10 centenarians per 100,000 people in Europe at the time. But since then, centenarians have become more and more common outside of blue zones. And there were other problems with the data too. Many birth records in Japan might have been destroyed during World War II. People have lied about their age, and many other prefectures now have higher life expectancies than Okinawa.
The 4 keys that Buettner proposes make a lot of sense, and there's a lot of scientific evidence. But if we're playing devil's advocate, aren't there thousands of other villages across the world where these same habits and characteristics are also found? And yet, most of these places are not blue zones. Why not?
Data shows that here in Costa Rica, the area where we had this original longevity anomaly has actually shrunk. A recent study even found that the cohort of people born in the 40s here in Nicoya actually are living shorter lives than the rest of the country. If you go by average life expectancy, you can find other places like Summit County in Colorado, Hong Kong, with comparable or higher numbers than the blue zones themselves. So the point here is that there is really no definitive answer. It is an exciting, almost an idealistic subject to study, but the data is still very inconclusive, and I guess we need to wait a few decades to see if the blue zone diet actually works and makes people live longer. But this idea of longer, healthier life sells, and it sells really well. Nosara, which is a beach town really close by, has become this true hub for yoga retreats, spas, wellness tourism, and it attracts visitors from all over the world looking for relaxation and rejuvenation and this connection to nature.
I feel so much more upliftment and energy and support from my environment here.
Now, the average household income for a middle-class family in Costa Rica is about $1,500. Yet, the Santa Teresa region boosts hundreds of houses well above $1 million. Now, you might assume that this influx of big foreign capital would bring prosperity, but the reality is quite the opposite. Between 2022 and 2023, this region saw the fastest growth in the number of homes living in extreme poverty. Now, you might assume that influx of capital always impacts a country positively. That's not always true. And with immigration, we usually see the other side of the coin. But when richer immigrants with a lot of disposable income flood an area very quickly, they inflate the economy, they outprice the locals, money tends to stay in these enclaves rather than circulate for the rest, and then the wealth gaps deepen. The simple truth is that this is a rather remote rural area that wasn't prepared to host hordes of tourists or the fair percentage of them that just choose to settle thanks to the lax immigration policies. And they are often rich tourists with budgets in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy land, develop it, from simple homes to million-dollar mansions like Jack Dorsey's. Illegal labor is a problem too, but not for the reasons that you think. Immigrants who open shops or restaurants often end up hiring other immigrants because they speak better English than the locals. And they can also pay them cash and bypass local taxes. It's like this economy off the grid. And the nearest immigration office, the nearest court, are both an hour and a ferry ride away. The police force operates on a limited budget with only 4 patrol cars available for this entire area, and perhaps more critically, large housing complexes are being built without permits, requiring extensive land clearing and deforestation.
Estamos empezando a tener una situación que es que ya están empezando a construir en las montañas y está generando que las personas empiecen a cortar de a poco los árboles para posteriormente construir. ¿Qué implica esto? Que cuando vienen las épocas de lluvia, inmediatamente empieza a erosionarse por no tener la capacidad de sostener. Empezamos a tener este fenómeno donde se empieza a erosionar.
The local government is small, and they were dealt this surprise card, especially post-COVID, and they haven't been able to deal with it. And again, this is a story that you can find not just here, but in plenty of these paradise type of destinations around the world. But the biggest population centers are not beach towns. They're inland. Towns like Nicoya, Santa Cruz, Ojancha, mostly dedicated to agriculture and cattle farming. But centenarian life doesn't happen in yoga retreats or beachfront resorts. Their connection to nature was here, working the land, not drinking mojitos by the beach. Centenarians grew old here, in the heart of the Blue Zone, and they lived simple lives. And today, many of them are struggling to make ends meet. So today we're following Jorge Vindes. Jorge Vindes leads this NGO that tracks down and helps out. Many of the centenarians in the area live in very difficult conditions. So his organization tracks them down, helps them access government resources, and in this case today, drives out to all of them to get them some Christmas presents. ¿Cuál es el secreto para llegar a 100 años?
Cuidarse la vida, papá. Lo que le encargo es que no llegue a las 2 de la mañana en un baile desvelándose, que el desvelo es el que mata, Leo.
Some of these donations also come from Blue Zone's Nicoya, the local company that has licensed the brand.
Nos ayuda todos los meses con un poquito. Como ustedes vieron hoy, la realidad, más de la mitad de los centenarios tienen muchas necesidades. Pero internacionalmente se volvió una marca y Dan, que es el que ha hecho mucho dinero, debe regresarle a los centenarios. Pero como no lo hacen, nosotros tratamos de intentar que tengan una vida más digna. Y esa es una lucha que no paramos nunca.
But I'm not here to blame the government or the immigrants. That's not what this video is about. Tourism is the backbone of the Costa Rican economy, and we are honored that people fall in love with our country. We love it too. What this video is about is this stark contrast. This $7 coffee, artificial wellness sort of lifestyle is so different from the lives and the humble lives of the people that originally inspired people to move to this area. Their way of life, which was rooted in community, in nature, in genuine well-being, is just a massive difference from the brand picture that Blue Zones is painting the world. And so it may be worth stopping for a second to understand that if there is a secret to 100-year life, we may just be missing the entire point. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'm super thankful to The Hustle for letting me tell this story about where I hail from. Last month, I took a trip to a very different town, one that saw an almost nuclear meltdown in the 70s and is now getting that same power plant reactivated. So you should check that out. And finally, you should snap that QR code or use the link in the description to download The Hustle's Business Startup Kit. Catch you on the next one.